we're just gonna get right into it. I really like it. It's boring just throwing basketballs, so I want to be able to throw something cool like a meteor or something like that. So let's go here and just get started. So where did we leave off? Let's find our hoops level so we can play with the ball. And where we ended up is downloading a texture and just doing a simple pan just to make it look like it's moving around. But we definitely want to do some more stuff to it. We need to make it glow. I'm thinking maybe shoot like sparks out the back, or I don't know yet, but we're just gonna play with it and we'll find out as we go. So let's open up our material, right? So right now it doesn't do anything except show like this lava like thing and then kind of pan around. All right, that's what we had before, but why is this not moving? Don't know. We are compressing the black and white to get more defined areas, right? So this is kind of like doing a levels node. All right, what else can we do to it? If we mess with this from the LDR power to HDR, let's give it a float. We want a constant. Woo! That's bright. Let's go with, I'm even 0.5. 0.1, 0.2. I'm gonna give it a like fiery tint. We want the outer rim glowing, and we can do a like a Fresnel effect. So let's just see if we can combine that with this glowing HDR effect. So we'll find this node and let's see, how can we preview it? Because we want to toy with the values. See how the edges kind of glow like this. So now we can play with this to see what these values do. You see, so I kind of like, just gonna stick with the default and see what we can get out of that. So we need to tighten this up. We could probably tighten this up. Let's take power again, and what happens when we increase? There, so we have like super tight around the edges here. Make it 3. I like that. Kind of get like the eclipse, kind of get an eclipse effect. Now I have to look and see, because these things are hard and I'm still not really good at materials yet, but I would imagine there are very, very, very many people that are not good at materials. And this is really like the best flow that I think of, is to get an idea of like in your head of what you want to see. Like in my case, like a glowing meteor, find an example and then play with it until you find which parameters, you start to just get an idea of what the parameters do. Like, oh, I want to tighten this up. You know, you don't need to be good at math to know what nodes are just good at that. Like, getting an idea of what this power node does is going to be super useful when you're making your materials. You don't have to be able to visualize the math to be able to make cool materials, is what I'm trying to say. Now, another node that you see a lot and is super important when you're making cool materials is lerping, which makes a lot of sense when you're doing animation and you want to interpolate between like one position and another, but it's also super good to combine colors and noises and things like that. So let's play with lerp. Let's do a lerp of let's do another 3-vec and make sure we switch over to start previewing the node that is lerped. And sorry, we are lerping transparency here. And, oops, let's get rid of this. All right. So now, let's zoom in on the edge. You can see that it's going to go from this bright white get up and close in here. Let's look at the before we did that. I really want to see this combined with our, because it's hard to envision what's going on. So we're going to take this branch and combine it with our HDR branch. So let's preview this again. See if we can. Nice. And let's combine it. So it's kind of creating like this swirly twirlies inside. I see it's just not updating. Why is my page not updating? It's very, very strange to me. See, if I keep clicking on it, it updates. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it now. I'll figure it out offline at some point. But let's stop previewing this. And let's go back to our... I don't like seeing the seam. I don't see it now. So annoying. Anyway. Now let's take these and add them together. Alright, so we have a slight... So yeah, now you can see the edges are glowing. And what we're going to do next is we're going to copy this whole section. Put it down here. And let's view. Let's just start out combining them immediately. We use the same tint, both of these. And multiply it. Just give it a constant for now. This should give us no difference. Make this 2. So it's starting to get like more intense. Let me see, make this 10. I like that. But we're going to put this into an offset. Let's see. Woo! You know, this might make this easier if we create an instance of the. You know what? Let's try this. I'm going to take this node, create a material instance, and then we can play with any parameters that we set. So now a cool trick is to come in here, and let's say that we want to make this changeable in our particle. We want to be able to like modify this. We can do is make a dynamic parameter. This. And this allows us to just have 4 arbitrary values that we can control. Let's see, we'll call this offset. And the default value we have here, we had 10 before, so let's put 10 in here. And now, instead of having to wait for it to compile all the time, we can just come over to our instance. And oh, you can see what's supposed to be happening in my viewer here, but for some reason my tick isn't updating. I don't know why it's doing that. Real time is set on. Oh, there we go. There we go. So it looks a little weird. But let's see. All right. So, but now what we can do is play with these. So we can override the material properties. We do not want to do that. Where is my dynamic? But that's why this wasn't working. Woo! There we go. That's an easy fix. But let's see, why can't I see these dynamic parameters? All right, so here's the deal. This dynamic parameter is something that I could set when I'm creating my particle. So I'm going to be using this material in my particle, and I can have, have this value change over time as the particle goes. That's a little different than an instance param. Like now, if I wanted to play with this offset HDR power, I can get rid of this, and I can create a parameter. This is a float parameter, scalar parameter. That's what I want. We'll call this the offset HDR power. And this was a 0.3, I believe. But see, every time you change it, it needs to compile. But it does not have to compile in your instance. So now, see, I have my offset HDR power, and I can come here and dynamically change it and watch what happens. So it's a lot easier for me to like F around with my parameters as long as I'm doing it in an instance. So let's say make it smaller. I don't really know what I'm going for yet, but I'll know when I see it, I think. It looks like a little flamey. It looks a little fast. It looks a little jumpy. So another thing I can do is I could parameterize the speed. Notice that only this instance is changing. But what I'll do is I'll take this instance, see what it's set at, 2.138516. Cool. Sounds like a good number. Then I can come back here and make that the default. And it recompiles, and now by default it's like that. So if I want to do that same thing with the speed here, we have speed x is 0.1. I'm guessing this overrides it. Yep. I guess this overrides a vec2. So we're going to make this a scalar. Nope. A vector parameter. And we want 2. I'm not sure how this works. Am I able to, like, mask it off? I'll use... This is all of it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll use red and green to be my X and Y. I don't know. Let me just see how this works. So this is my speed. Pan speed. And the default value will be, what did I have, 0.1 and 0. Now what if I wanted to go slower? 0.01. I think that's working. Cool. But, even cooler is now I have control over that really fast over here. So now I can override my pan speed, come over here, and let's say if we want it to rotate in the other direction, let's see if this works. Say we can get 2 things going in here. Or I can do 0.04, and we have this kind of movement. But the point is you could tweak it and play with it all you want. Now, it's still a little twitchy. Don't know why it's going like... I want it to be more like... It's definitely a little twitchy. So, I guess the trick is finding like where is that twitch coming from. It's from the offset speed. You know what? I think I might want to tie these speeds together. Ooh, I like that. God. I really like it.